America must never tell us what to do. The same United States, which is furious at being cut off from the riches of Burkina Faso, cannot tell us what to do. We stand with Captain Traore. We stand with Traore because we know that Traore stands for the unity of Africa. We are Traore, and Traore is all of us. If they kill Traore, you must know they would have created another wound in the continent of Africa. We must defend him the same way we defend the unity of Africa. We must defend China for defying the USA and telling the USA to go to hell because they don't understand how the tariffs works. Donald Trump is an enemy of himself and all of us. And he must know the EFF is not scared of him. The EFF is not scared of Israel. The EFF is not scared of Morocco. The EFF is not scared of the imperialist forces. The EFF will stand on the side of the people of DRC, the people of Sudan, and the people of Sahrawi.
Yo, what is this I'm hearing about how France and the US want to arrest Ibrahim Traoré? Are you taking the piss? Like this man didn't kick France out of his country. Like this man didn't open up 2 tomato processing plants. Like this man didn't make medical health care free for all, no matter what your status is. And recently, over the last couple of days, made education free up until uni. And the dirty, stinking colonizers want to arrest him. Are we supposed to act like France didn't have its hands around Burkina Faso's throat for how long? And now we have a leader who's doing what no bumperclut cowardice African leader has done. And you want to arrest him on what charges? Listen, as a black people, if there's one thing we can all unite around the globe, it's because of this man, you understand? And he needs to be protected, all costs, spiritually, physically, mentally. He needs to be protected by every single one of us. They already tried to take his life 19 times, yeah? And it's clearly going up. So I suggest you start praying for this man, praying for his life, praying for his family, praying for his country. And to all of you cowardice African leaders, yeah, if they try and step to Traore, you need to prove yourselves and try and protect him. Send military, send resources, send everything you can to make sure that he protects his country. That's what you should do. But we know how it goes already with you African leaders. You rather fatten up your pockets rather than look after your people. Some of you don't even deserve to be leaders, because if you're not even putting your life on the line for your people, for your country, what the hell are you doing trying to run it? You see how Ibrahim done it? And it only took him 18 bumperclut months. Yeah? And some of you have been leaders for over 20 years. Your people should spit in your face for the way you leaders left them high and dry and living in poverty and fattening up the pockets of the West. So come on, cowards. Show us what the heart of a lion is. Show us if you can live up to Ibrahim. Show us that you can rise to the occasion. Give us something, anything to be proud of.
I really wanted to talk to you this week because it's a difficult subject, this, for me as a white man to raise. But I saw this house Negro head of AFRICOM, a black African American, threaten to kill the great leader of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And it made me so mad I reached out for Nico House for a point of view on it. Did you see it? And what do you think of it?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, let me say congratulations, George, on all the success that you've been having. It's well deserved. I mean, from the guests to the topics that you cover, I feel like it's not really that many people giving so much diversity And I know that Piers Morgan is trying his best to copy you, but you know it doesn't quite hit the same when you're not as dedicated to the truth as a presenter as you are. So let me just say congratulations on that. And yeah, absolutely. I saw Lingley's comments about Ibrahim, how he's supposedly using the gold reserves to provide his own private security. And let me just say, first of all, that's not true. Second of all, if it was true, let's be honest, wouldn't it be somewhat justified considering the fact that they continue to make attempts on his life? I mean, they just recently made another failed attempt on his life. That's probably why they're upset and why they're now going out of their way to bring it to the attention of the national public, to try and create this narrative, not unlike what we saw happen with Libya and Gaddafi, because Ibrahim has had that type of impact in West Africa when we're talking about not only uplifting Burkina Faso, but then uniting West African countries like Mali and Niger so that they can combat Western imperialism and the NATO allies that try to oppress them.
Well, that's right. His own bodyguards were offered $5 million to kill him. Now, it's no coincidence that the money involved was dollars. The United States and France are determined to do to Captain Traore what they did to so many others. In Burkina Faso, to the great Thomas Sankara, in the Congo, to the great Patrice Lumumba, and so many other leaders that they have dispensed with extreme prejudice because their own interests were threatened by an African leader who's actually governing in the interests of his own people and not of the empire.
President Traore is standing up. He is saying the natural resources in Burkina Faso, they belong to the people of Burkina Faso. Niger is doing the same thing. Mali is doing the same thing. Every leader must look at what's happening in the Sahel nations to say, like anybody else, you must take care of your people. You have your natural resources. You have everything you need to take care of your people. Why do you continue to be beggars? Look at what is being brought in by not only USAID, but all the NGOs in your country. It's
Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso.
What is Burkina Faso, bro?
He just survived another assassination attempt.
What's Burkina Faso?
Burkina Faso, it's a country in Africa. Oh. He is the most popular leader in Africa right now, one of the youngest leaders in Africa right now. He has been the president since 2022. I'm going to name you some of the accomplishments he's done. He created their first ever gold mine, state gold mine, and he immediately stopped the exporting raw gold to Europe.
Okay.
He kicked out the French military. He kicked out the French media. He bought Burkina Faso's first 2 planes of their airline. So before they used to have to lease planes, he bought first 2 planes and trying to stop the stranglehold Air France had on Burkina Faso. He banned the British wigs and attire in judicial hearings. He just made education free. He also was part of a coalition between neighboring Mali and Niger. So they have a coalition going on.
Sounds like a good guy. It sounds like he's figuring some shit out.
He's been in office for 3 years. I want you, one guess, how many assassination attempts has he survived? Or coup attempts, how many? One guess.
Long 2? Probably had
18.
There's been 18 attempts?
18. Just found out this latest coup attempt, one of his right-hand man, one of his soldiers, one of his bodyguards, they offered him $41 million. $41 million. Are you hearing me right now?
Oh, Chairman, we've always had the lead. So what you're seeing in those 2 competitors or challengers, they're following in our wake. They see what works as far as our influence and deepening partnerships through those soft powers, whether it be health diplomacy or whether it be in development type programs. So they're following in our wake, trying to replicate what we do best. And I think the African countries know this, and so this is where, as we start to look at going forward, as State Department starts to reset these programs, looking at what worked and what didn't work, and doubling down on what does work. I think we have enough capital built up in these countries for them to ensure their stabilization and also prosperity. The other 2 competitors are just trying to replicate what we do best.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. You know, I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traoré and Burkina Faso, you know, as they know that both, you know, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP and sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
Okay, well, you can't imagine how frustrating it seems to me that this mineral-rich continent has not been able to move to a utilization of the resources to benefit the people there. After all this time, it's a puzzle that we haven't unwound up. Let me see if I can move to General Cavoli, and then I hope we can leave. You're aware of various voices coming from inside government here in the United States, as well as in the media, that have spoken with approval about the Russian organized referendums in 2022 in so-called overwhelming Russian-speaking provinces. General Cavoli, tell us what you know and what you understand about the freedom of those organized referendums and the accuracy of them as a measure of public opinion.
Sure, Mr. Chairman. I don't think I'm familiar with the voices in Washington that are talking about this, but I do remember them very well. They were referendums in Lugansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson provinces. They were in September 2022. They were roundly condemned by nations throughout the world and by international organizations. The Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe called them illegitimate. The United Nations called them illegal. I think the only country in the world that accepted the result of those referenda, other than Russia, was North Korea. So they have widely been considered not to be legitimate for a variety of reasons about the way they took place and taking place during a conflict by an occupying power.
So if members of Congress want to be informed by what happened in these referenda, if our negotiators in this peace process want to be informed by these referenda, what lesson should we take from the legitimacy of those votes?
Sir, I think that anybody who wants to know about it, it's pretty well established history. It's pretty easy to find. I could certainly help direct your colleagues or anybody you want to sources on it. What conclusions can we draw? We can draw the conclusion that, you know, the Russian Federation was intent on absorbing those provinces and attempted to put a gloss of legitimacy over it by holding a referenda that had, you know, results like 99% in favor.
Rigged results, correct?
That was the widespread conclusion at the time in 2022. Yes, sir.
And also, since you are a student of the Russian language yourself, is the fact that the Russian language is spoken in part of Ukraine, is that demonstrative of their loyalty with regard to their nationality?
Well, we see linguistic minorities in countries all over the world, sir. There certainly is a dominant Russian language population in eastern Ukraine. We see a Russian language population in eastern Estonia. So it's
and they consider themselves loyal Estonians, do they not?
Yeah, it really doesn't have much to do with sovereignty at all. I mean, we have large populations in our country that don't speak English. That's
the point I was trying to make. Senator Reid, we will be going into a closed session. Do you have any questions for the open session?
I have a few questions, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Cavoli, in your military opinion, does the U.S. agreement with Denmark to facilitate access and basing needs in Greenland meet current military requirements?
Sir, I can only talk about the part of the military requirements that affect me. So our principal presence on Greenland, the United States principal presence on Greenland is the base at Pitafik in northwestern Greenland. That is not under my operational or administrative control. That's a Space Force base. And I don't know if it's adequate for them or not. From my perspective as both the Supreme Allied Commander and the U.S. European Command Commander, I have all the access and basing I need to prosecute the operations that we've talked about in the high north during this.
So that's from your perspective, European Greenland, just to get the facts right, is within your area of operations.
Greenland is within my area of operations as the Supreme Allied Commander, and it is within my area of operations as the U.S. European Command Commander.
And you feel at this juncture we have all the capacity we need to confront the threats going forward?
Yeah, again, Senator, my part of that is what I can comment on. That's from the coast of Greenland eastward and northward to counter Russian threats coming out of there. I can't really speak for Northcom's interests or anything like that.
Thank you.
Our country has long been in a very complicated system. Most of you who are young like me, we were born into this system. But that's not what can allow Burkina to thrive. Because in this situation, there are only two cases. Either we accept to fight, or we remain slaves forever. I told you once, there are those who are slaves in their minds. They can only serve their master. And those people try every time to manipulate you. You must advise each other. Because every situation can be exploited by these enemies of the nation to try to discourage you, to demotivate you. So, you must advise each other and not pay attention to certain remarks, even on some media. Not everyone is obliged to be patriotic. You are the first patriots. You have decided to defend the homeland. There is nothing better than that. Those who want to support you, let them support you. Those who want to discourage you through writings, you must close your ears and move forward. As for those, we will fight them here. So, we must remember something. Recently, there is a so-called NGO. It's not even an NGO. Because NGO stands for non-governmental organization. They are not non-governmental because they are funded by a federal budget, by a state. This so-called NGO produces reports claiming that the FDS and the VDP commit abuses. It went in here, it came out there. It's to tarnish your morale. It's to scare you, to prevent you from being able to fight. No. Moreover, we are going to file a complaint against this NGO. Because people need to understand something. What is happening to us here? It's true that they have manipulated part of our populations in the Sahel here, but they didn't have that kind of weaponry. What brought such significant weaponry into their ranks? It's Libya. Who destroyed Libya? It's this NGO, the same NGO that made false reports and gave them to those who wanted to create a rebellion so that people would intervene and overthrow Gaddafi. And the powder keg ended up being poured into the Sahel. These millions of lives that have been taken in the Sahel we must file a complaint against this NGO because it is responsible for these false reports it made to support this thesis of attacking Libya. They have no moral lessons to give us. Look at the world. Let them go defend human rights all over the world first before coming here. We are fortunate to have similar situations. In this world, you voluntarily committed yourselves. There are countries where people are forcibly taken, killed. You leave or you die. Others, even while trying to flee, end up dying. They don't talk about human rights because these people see us as subhumans. They see us as slaves. That's how it is in their minds. They have never changed their mindset, but it's up to us to show them that we are not slaves and we will never accept this state of affairs. So don't be fooled by the stories. They tell to anyone who will listen. You must stay focused on your fight. Stay focused. We know what we are doing. And even now, the VTP commander told me that there is a human rights training session underway for group leaders and their deputies. If we make efforts, we know it's for ourselves. We no longer do things to please someone else. We do it for our homeland. And you are committed to that. Defend your homeland. Do not listen to those individuals. They should not affect your morale. In the history of the world, there have been wars. And during the Second World War, people organized themselves to defend all over the place. But there is a country that could not defend itself, which had to come and take our ancestors to go defend them. And today that same country wants to give us lessons. The pot calling the kettle black. No. You are the descendants of those same ancestors who went to defend others, who liberated the world from Nazism. Today you are fighting for your lands. These same individuals dare to create terms to tarnish you. We oppose this. We will never agree. Continue to defend your lands. It is your wealth that interests these people. It's our gold, it's our minerals that interest them. Otherwise, why come and drive out entire villages to seize our lands? So we will fight and we will reclaim our lands, our wealth. It belongs to us. It's for us. It will benefit us and our children. I therefore encourage you to remember that this war is to free us from slavery. It's for our independence. And you must keep your spirits high, stay strong. Never give in to manipulators, to those individuals who no longer understand the notion of homeland, or to those people who come from outside to try to subdue us through their terms they invented and their organizations they created to enslave us. Fight, move forward, do everything you can. Draw, as I said, from your cultural resources, from what you have been shaped by since the village. Draw from it and wage this war. Stay focused and stay strong. Recently, there is a so-called NGO. It's not even an NGO, because NGO stands for non-governmental organization. They are not non-governmental because they are funded by a federal budget, by a state. This so-called NGO produces reports claiming that the FDS and the VDP commit abuses. It went in here, it came out there. It's to tarnish your morale. It's to scare you, to prevent you from being able to fight. No. Moreover, we are going to file a complaint against this NGO because people need to understand something. What is happening to us here? It's true that they have manipulated part of our populations in the Sahel here, but they didn't have that kind of weaponry. What brought such significant weaponry into their ranks? It's Libya. Who destroyed Libya? It's this NGO, the same NGO that made false reports and gave them to those who wanted to create a rebellion so that people would intervene and overthrow Gaddafi. And the powder keg ended up being poured into the Sahel. These millions of lives that have been taken in the Sahel, we must file a complaint against this NGO because it is responsible for these false reports it made to support this thesis of attacking Libya. They have no moral lessons to give us. Look at the world. Let them go defend human rights all over the world first before coming here. We are fortunate to have similar situations. In this world, you voluntarily committed yourselves. There are countries where people are forcibly taken, killed. You live or you die. Others, even while trying to flee, end up dying. They don't talk about human rights because these people see us as subhumans. They see us as slaves. That's how it is in their minds. They have never changed their mindset, but it's up to us to show them that we are not slaves and we will never accept this state of affairs. It should not affect your morale. In the history of the world, there have been wars. And during the Second World War, people organized themselves to defend all over the place. But there is a country that could not defend itself, which had to come and take our ancestors to go defend them. And today that same country wants to give us lessons. The pot calling the kettle black. No. You are the descendants of those same ancestors who went to defend others, who liberated the world from Nazism. Today you are fighting for your lands. These same individuals dare to create terms to tarnish you. We oppose this. We will never agree. Continue to defend your lands.
While tertiary education in Namibia is already significantly subsidized by the government, I'm pleased to announce that from the next academic year, commencing 2026, tertiary education will become 100% subsidized by the government. That means no registration fees and no tuition fees. At all public universities and technical and vocational education.
What's up, guys? It's Irene_Jep, and guys, welcome back to this amazing channel. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a couple of things, and of course, Ibrahim Traoré is one of them. I'm so happy that the leaders in Africa, the people of Africa, everyone is united to protect Traoré. They remember what happened to Gaddafi. When Gaddafi was alive, Libya was something else. Libya was big. It was tax-free. If you wanted to go to school, it was free. There was affordable homes. There were good homes. Food was there. And also, I remember one thing that I actually read from the books back then. If you're a Libyan and you want to go and study abroad, the government pays for you. Health was free and everything. What happened? The Americans allegedly told the people of Libya that your president is bad and he needs to be removed from power. He's killing your people. And now the Libyans agreed to this lie. Look at Libya now. Libya is the center stage of, it's a place where a lot of bad things happen, in short. So, places like Mali, the recent and the most recent news is that they are debt-free. They have already paid all their debts, and now they're depending on their own government, on their own people to generate money and then fund their country in terms of roads, hospitals, schools, and everything. So, Ibrahim Traoré is actually, following the footsteps of Thomas Sankara, the footsteps of Gaddafi, and all these great African leaders. And what he has done, he has made actually schools to be free. I mean, people go to school, or probably children, they go to school free of charge. And guess what? The president of Namibia also introduced that just yesterday. Beginning 2026, schools are going to be free of charge, guys. What a beautiful, beautiful thing to learn about, to hear, and So there are so many people that have come out to speak about Ibrahim Traoré and tell the world that, hey, if you try touch Ibrahim Traoré, you will see our true colors. And that is after this American soldier came out on TV and was saying that Ibrahim Traoré is misusing the gold in Burkina Faso and we need to protect that. Hey, when people had protect, they remembered Libya. They remembered Congo, and everybody came out and they were bashing the American government. I don't know why. American government is associated with fights, military and everything. They go to other countries, destabilize it and take the raw materials. So everybody on social media has come out to protect Ibrahim Traoré. And on that date, everybody will be in the streets. Of course, it's not going to be 100%, but at least 70%. Most of the people in Africa, they'll come to the streets and talk to Americans to tell them, hey, just leave Ibrahim Traoré alone. I mean, in the past, the Americans or these developed countries, they will tell us that, what, this person is not good. And most of us will believe. But now, this is another era. An era where there is social media. If something happens now in Nigeria, I get to know about it because I have access to social media. If something happens in America, if something happens in South Africa, if something happens in Ethiopia, I get to learn about it because of social media, which has really helped us, And of course, when you watch a couple of videos or so many videos, you get to learn something from that. And also hearing people's perspective on a certain issue, story, it makes you understand deeper and deeper and deeper. So I am so happy. I can't wait my country to embrace what Burkina Faso is doing. When I talk about embracing, not becoming a puppet. A puppet, you are just told, do this, you are doing. Where there is money, you follow. Ibrahim Traoré was like, no, I'm not that kind of a person. And what he wants, actually, have you seen the affordable housing project that he's doing? Oh my, oh my. A lot of people are like, I just want to go and live in Burkina Faso. I just want to go and be part of them. Some are wondering, what is wrong when somebody comes up and tells these people that, what, from today, you're going to have a free education. What's wrong with better roads? What's wrong with having better hospitals and better everything? There is nothing wrong, and that is what the West doesn't want. It's time that Africa must stand up for themselves. It's time that Africa must unite. It's time that Africa must love and put our priorities first. It's time that Africa, we need to learn that we can do it. We can do it on our own. We don't have to wait for somebody to come and pull us from where we are. We need to pull ourselves. And, I mean, guys, I really hope you understand. I loved the way Julius Malema came out and talked about this Traore issue. If you touch Ibrahim Traore, just know that you have touched Africa, the entire Africa. Actually, Julius Malema is a politician from South Africa. He is an opposition leader. And guys, I mean, these people, they do inspire us a lot. I mean, Julius Malema is also that person or politician or leader that, is fighting for the rights of South Africans. Remember South Africa, I mean, it's the economy has been taken up by the white. I'm not trying to say that white people are bad, but the thing is, why is it that it's the whites only get better things? I mean, they get everything good and all that. And remember, they're in South Africa, all of them. The Africans in South Africa, nothing good. I mean, if it's something good, it's just a low percentage. And then they came in, I don't know what happened to the South Africans, to the point of them having these issues. I mean, when they see other Africans working in South Africa, they start killing them, chasing them, which is, I don't know that mentality, because it should be kind of political, guys. So I am so inspired. I am so inspired by Ibrahim Traoré, the likes of P.L. Olumumba, the likes of Julius Malema. When you date back to history, Sankara, I mean, all these people, oh my God, they just tell us or teach us everything about them is all about African revolution. Okay, let's wait and see what Ibrahim Traoré has for his people. Remember, several assassination attempts, I mean, has already happened on him. They have tried like a couple of times to assassinate him, but you know what? God is there, always protecting him, because he knows that he is there for his people, and he genuinely wants good for, you know, Burkina Faso, the Burkinabes. Anyway, my good people, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.